Okay, chapter 3. So what have we accomplished so far? In chapter 1, we introduced ourselves. We shared with you our vision of bringing hope to a world in need, our compassion, our passion, our dedication to the free market system, and also our dedication to stewardship to help those who are less fortunate than ourselves. Those who can't help themselves yet, will step in strong and help them. So then we decided that to accomplish that in chapter 2, we had to find sound business principles. We had to be successful in business to have any impact at all. So we analyzed the market. We found it to be huge. We found the mega trends swinging in the right direction. So this chapter 3 is my introduction to you of our business strategy. How do we plan to go into the marketplace, execute against an industrial age business that's been established for 100 years, compete and win along with you? So here we go. First of all, we have 4 basic strategies. Strategy number 1 is no surprise. We're going to go direct from suppliers to consumers. After watching what's happened in the last 15 years, I think that's probably a business strategy of almost every business coming out these days. How you execute it is what separates the grain from the chaff, but certainly that's a sound business principle. Number 2, to do that, we are going to use a fully integrated, high-tech website. Now, number 3, this is kind of our special sauce. The question becomes, how do you drive traffic to the website? I mean, everybody has a website. How do you drive traffic to the website? And that, I believe, is where we are very special, very creative, very unique, and have very high expectations of success. And our 4th principle is going into the marketplace at a price point that not only competitive, but will actually dominate in the marketplace. So let's flesh these out one at a time, and I think you'll be very excited about our business strategy. So number 1, we're going to go direct consumers to suppliers, Amazon style. That's no surprise. It's not going to take a lot of explanation, but it's significant. In a $105 billion industry, only 1% goes direct from suppliers to consumers. So while it's not significant in the big picture, in our situation, it's a radical departure from standard procedures. One interesting thing is we get the great joy of basically drafting behind Amazon and other companies like their success. They created technology that now is available to us. The cloud exists for us to do our technology in. UPS has become an absolute monster that can deliver packages to every door in the United States on 2-day ground from only 3 cold storage plants strategically located around the United States. So that's our business strategy number 1. Strategy number 2 is no surprise. We are highly dedicated to a fully integrated high-tech website. To do that, we engage the services of a fantastic company in Bend in Portland, Oregon called 5 Talent. You can Google them. They have a fantastic history. It's all based on Amazon Web Services, which is the direction that all technological companies are going in the future. It's streamlined. It's modern. It stands by to take your orders. It's scalable, which is a word which means we can grow rapidly with no anticipation of any tech issues. So we've made tremendous investments in the tech system. So that's nothing new. How many companies out there decide to go direct to consumer, have a website, but they struggle? And here is our secret sauce. Okay, before we get into it, let's do a quick review. Beef, if you haven't heard me mention this, is huge. $105 billion industry, less than 1% is direct sold. So the question is, are we really that smart? Are we really the smartest person in the room? I mean, do you think we're the only people in the United States that went, wow, that is a massive, massive potential? And the answer is no. There are some very good companies. We listed a couple here. Butcher Blocks, Crowd Cow, Omaha Steaks, all great companies, all really fantastic companies. And they are aggressively going after the market. They have a website. They're going direct to consumers. But yet they are combining for less than 1% of the direct market. And you have to ask yourself, why? Well, we have a theory why, and this is where we believe our strategy number 3 significantly departs from their business models and gives us a unique business advantage. And let me tell you something. There is a reality in life that there is a law of saturation. We found that the average consumer hears or sees over 4,000 advertisements a day. Now, when I have to confess to you that when I heard that statistic, I'm like, that can't be true. But it is. In the last 6 months, as I've been going around, we are attacked visually, audibly, in every way with messages and and messaging. And so if you're trying to drive traffic to your website using social media campaigns, email campaigns, there really becomes a law of diminishing returns. Okay, so a basic business principle is it was said about 3 years ago that you had 30 to 60 seconds to tell your stories. You guys all seen those pictures where a salesman lights a match and he has to tell a story before it burns his fingers? That's 15, 20 seconds. Guys, those days are gone. You now have 3 to 7 seconds to tell your story, and that's over. Well, how do you get around that? How can we possibly tell anything? Well, if you're watching this video, you've just watched me for maybe 15 to 20 minutes. We just shattered the paradigm. We just shattered the wall. We shattered the glass ceiling of how to drive traffic to the website, because some reason you're watching this, it probably has to do with the relationship. Someone that you have some relationship with recommended this to you, and out of respect for them and out of interest and curiosity for your future, you're actually applying more than 3 to 7 seconds. That is huge. So that is our solution, is to use word-of-mouth advertising, and that's really all we do. We pay people for word-of-mouth advertising, so our solution number 3 is create a nationwide team of independent business owners. Independent business owners are people that are self-employed, contracted with Videri to drive traffic to the website, and that's what we're inviting you to become. Okay, let's talk about being an IBO for real just a second. Number one, I believe that Videri is tremendously unique in this type of business in that we are not here to use IBOs for the owners to make a lot of money. We are actually dedicated, we created this business to help IBOs. And let me explain, everything from day one was set up to help IBOs. It has a unique commission structure that allows the new IBO to be profitable immediately. And if you need to show where the rubber meets the road on this, let me just tell you something. I personally spent best part of 13 years developing this business. My time, energy, talents, and my time in my life. I invested almost $1 million of my own money to create this opportunity. And I don't get paid to be the president, not a penny. Every cent that my wife and I make from our stock ownership in this business is dedicated to orphans, and that's wonderful. The only income I make in this business is being an IBO just like you. And here's the punchline. You can make more money than me, and I'll actually help you. I honestly hope you do, because if you do, that means that I'll do better than I was doing, and that's a good situation. So we built this business from the beginning to help people be successful business owners. Okay, we do that by helping them be successful immediately. I'll explain that in the commission structure in a little bit. We create amazing training tools for our IBOs to become successful. We're pricing the beef at a price point to make it as easy as possible for you to sell, therefore to be successful. And we actually wrote protections for the IBOs into the agreement when we brought on investors. And here's a big, big, big statement. Not one penny of product in Videri will ever be sold around the IBOs. If you've been around this industry for very long, you know that oftentimes businesses use a sales force to create traffic to a website originally because they need them, and they pay commissions for that. But then they look back one day and they go, you know what? We have 1 million hits a month or whatever it is. We don't need the sales force anymore, and they cut the sales force. It happens all the time. So before I allowed one investor into this company, we wrote this into blood that even if I die, even if they die, even if my child who grows into be the president of this company, we can never change the agreement that I'm making with you today. And that, because if you spend 2 years, 2 months, 2 weeks, 20 years of your life building this business for you and your family, we want it to be here for you. Okay, so as a paradigm, it's important for you to understand this is not a beef business. This is a people business. We fully intend to take on a 100-year-old, centuries-old, established industrial-age distribution system and win. We're creating the concept of stewardship to help people, to show people the joys of being successful business owners, going into the marketplace, competing and winning. So there you go. That's enough attitude on that, but that's what the IBOs are, and that was our market strategy number 3 to get traffic to the website. Okay, so let's talk about our market strategy number 4, which is go into the marketplace at a price point that absolutely can not only compete, but compete very well. So to tell you our approach on how we can create this price point, I have to share with you an amazing business model that kind of blew my mind. And it obviously kind of blew my mind. When we got looking around at some of the more successful companies and try to learn what they learned, we found a company called Costco. And it's also the model of Amazon, but let's stick with Costco for a minute. Costco is a fantastically successful company. I happen to have a friend who is a supplier for Costco, and he and I were around a campfire, and he was telling me what he understood to be their business model, and it's really, really interesting. What Costco, it appears that they have figured out, which is their desire and their plan was to make no money selling products. I know that sounds crazy, but that's true. They literally find quality products, they buy them at the best price point they can buy, then they have an algorithm which they only add enough money to the product that allows them to cover the costs of putting it on a shelf, having it go out the door, being shipped, covering their basic costs. So from their perspective, from a customer's perspective, we simply know that we're getting the best value possible. And that's why they sell such an amazing amount of quality products. But why would they do that? Why would Costco sell a product for no profit? And the answer is very simple. Because if they have our trust, if they have our loyalty, they charge us a fee to be a buyer there. And I think my fee this year was a little over $100, which is probably pretty typical. And it doesn't take a genius to get on Google and Google how many Costco memberships are available worldwide. And the last time I did that, about a week or two, the results I got were 93.3 million memberships around the world. Now, two things. I concede that not every statistic you get on the internet is necessarily accurate. I don't write the mail, I'm just delivering it, but that's what I saw. But if it were even close to that, that is a fantastic income for Costco. They have a consistent year to year to year budget to plan on, to work on. Customers are happy. The whole thing works very well. So we said, our business market strategy number 3, let's follow that example. So we looked at their model and said, that's a really good example, let's follow it. So our dedication is to make absolutely no income on beef. Now, that's an interesting story. How would you like to go to investors who are big cattle ranchers and say, I want 2 things. Number 1, I'd like you to give me a lot of money so we can go into business selling beef. And number 2, I'd like you to commit with me that we're not going to make any money selling beef. It was a bit of a sell, but they're very smart business people, and they understood the concept of this, of having 2 separate income streams. So that is what we do. We price our beef at 0 income. Just what it costs us to purchase it, to get our supply, process it, package it, ship it, deliver it. The owners are dedicated to making no income, no profit from the sale of beef, and that's awesome. That's one of the ways we're able to go into the marketplace at a price point that makes it easy for you as an IBO to sell the profit and be profitable. Now, it's important to notice that other network market companies almost always require a customer to pay some fee to buy. Not so with Videri. Anybody can go to our website and buy beef anytime they like, but they have to go through an IBO. But what we do is that we ask our IBOs to commit to be part of a team. It's a co-op concept. So instead of owning the whole car yourself, you use Uber. Instead of owning a whole, like farmers in the old days, instead of owning a whole elevator by yourself, farmers would get together, each chip in a little, and together they could be more successful, and that's what we do. So we're asking all IBOs to chip in $250 a year. Now, that's a joke. That is an absolute joke to think you can get into a business for $250. That is actually, as the president of this company, that is my biggest challenge, is to help you understand and take yourself seriously as a business owner when the boundary to get into the business was only $250. But let me share with you something. It's true. For your $250, you have a $100,000 tech system standing by to take your order. You have hundreds of thousands of dollars of lawyers who did back research and USDA labeling and getting our label approved and in network marketing and getting registered in states and paying sales tax. You don't have to deal with any of that. It all stands ready for your service. So when someone you've never met, in a place you've never been, in a place you don't even know the name of, buys beef, your 25 cents or whatever finds you at the end of the month, that all stands ready to serve you and your business because of your contribution of $250, because there's economy of scale. If we get 1 million of us that all chip in $250 a year, we can compete with anyone. We can buy the best tech systems. We can have the best cold storage plants. So that's brilliant business. What it is, it's called being in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And that is a massive differentiation. So as a wrap up to this conversation, what have we done? We introduced who we are and what we're trying to accomplish to bring hope to a world in need. We analyzed the market, found it to be huge, found 3 massive market trends that were all going in the right direction. Number 3, we created a business strategy that capitalized on those trends to help you be successful. And I think we've done it very well. So now in the next chapter, we're actually going to put the rubber to the road. I'm going to show you how applying these principles in a very realistic day-to-day manner can change your life financially and in many other ways. So thank you for your time.